name is Wesley Brown, and I'm here to discuss the Essentials of Human Communication, Chapter 6. So, in Chapter 6, we have everyday conversations that include small talk, introducing people, excuses and apologies, complimenting people, and advice. So, for small talk is essentially a more extensive way of saying hello. It can be used in a variety of ways. Small talk can be used as a politeness strategy. When you pass someone in the hallway, you say hello or hi. Or it can be used as a preface to, major topics. If you're getting an interview, you want to ask, the interviewer, like, how are you doing? That's a nice tie, or whatever. And the best topics are non-controversial and relatively brief. Some guidelines for effective small talk could be positive, don't be negative, be sensitive, stress similarities, answer questions, don't monologue, don't continue to talk a lot, and be careful in the topics that you pick. So, for introducing people, introductions are essentially, essential to forming new relationships. So, when giving an introduction, you need to give enough detail for there to be further interaction. So, for example, if you are with Jack and you bump into Jill, a good introduction would sound something like, "This is Jill Williams. This is Jack, who works with me at XYZ as a marketing manager. I went to college with Jill, and if I'm not mistaken, she has just returned from Hawaii." With this introduction, they both have something that they can say to each other, further than the introduction. Here's some guidelines for effective introductions. If you forget a person's name, it's better not just to cover it up. You might as well just tell them. You don't have to reveal what they are to you, so you don't have to be like, "Oh, this is my friend, this is my girlfriend." Be consistent with the names that you say, whether that's the full name or the first name. If the two people are from different ranks, then the person of the lower rank is introduced to the person of higher rank. Excuses and apologies. So it's really no surprise that once in a while we say something wrong and you try to give an explanation for what happened. The most common method are excuses and apologies, and they are what you call conversation corrections. So excuses are explanations or actions that lessen negative implications of an actor's performance, thereby maintaining a positive image for oneself and others. Apologies, on the other hand, are expressions of regret or sorrow for having done what you did or for what happened. So, more in depth, excuses, the major motive for excuse making seems to be to maintain your self-esteem and to project a positive image of yourself to others. So excuses may enable you to maintain effective interpersonal relationships after some negative behavior. Some guidelines for excuses would be to demonstrate you understand the problem, to acknowledge your responsibility, you acknowledge your own displeasure, for what you did, and you make it clear that your misdeed will never happen again. So for apologies, the most basic form of an apology is an expression of regret for something you did. So Harvard Business School Working Knowledge website states that apologies are useful for two main reasons: help repair relationships and repair the reputation of the wrongdoer. Some do's for effective apologies are admit wrongdoings if indeed wrongdoing occurred, be apologetic, give assurance that this will not happen again. Some don'ts are just don't apologize when it's not necessary. Don't accuse the other person of contributing to the problem. And justify your behavior by mentioning that everyone does it or that others have done worse. Compliments. So compliments are pretty much just a message of praise, flattery, or congratulations. They can either be qualified or unqualified. So, unqualified compliments is a message that's purely positive, and qualified compliments are messages that are not entirely positive. Um, some tips for a compliment is just be honest, compliment in moderation, be specific, be personal in your own feelings. And then receiving, you just kind of want to smile with eye contact, avoid looking at the floor, give a simple thank you would be enough. Um, and advice. Advice is best viewed as the process of giving another person a suggestion for thinking or behaving, usually to effect a change. Um, in most cases, this will take the form of a suggestion for solving a problem, but sometimes advice serves to encourage a person to stick with what she or he is currently doing or thinking. One of the most important types of advice is called meta-advice, advice without advice. Um, Here are some suggestions for responding to advice. Accept what the person tells you. Um, Interact with advice. Express your appreciation. Don't criticize or retaliate. Um, some suggestions for giving advice are listen, empathize, be tentative, offer options, ensure understandings, and keep the interaction confidential. And here are my references.